This piece of plastic made me over $5,000 in free flights and hotels last year, and it costs less than a Netflix subscription. No, this isn't a scam, an influencer code, or some shady hack. It's one specific credit card, and today I'm breaking down exactly how it works. Here's the problem. Most people either ignore credit cards completely, or they get one and use it wrong, paying interest, missing the bonus, or picking a card that doesn't match how they actually spend. So today, I'm going to walk you through one card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and show you the exact math behind why it's one of the most talked about cards in personal finance right now. Quick disclaimer before we go further. I'm not sponsored by Chase. This isn't financial advice, and you should never carry a balance on any rewards card. This only works if you pay it off in full every month. Let's start with the entry cost. The Chase Sapphire Preferred has a $95 annual fee. That's it. No hidden tiers, no surprise charges. Now here's where it gets interesting. Right now, this card's welcome bonus is worth well over $1,000 in travel value, just for hitting a minimum spend in the first 3 months. Important note, exact bonus amounts and minimum spend requirements change over time, so always check Chase's official page for the current offer before applying. So let's break down what you actually earn day to day. This card gives you 3x points on dining, 3x on streaming services, and 5x on travel booked through Chase's portal. Everything else, groceries, gas, shopping, earns 1 point per dollar. Simple, no rotating categories to track, no spreadsheets required. Now let's talk about the part that actually makes this card special. Chase's Points Boost feature, which pushes your point value up when you redeem through their travel portal. In practice, that means your points can be worth noticeably more than 1 cent each when you book flights or hotels directly through Chase, instead of redeeming for cash back. But here's the real unlock. This card lets you transfer points, one-to-one, to over a dozen airline and hotel partners. That's where the big value really lives. This is exactly how people book business class flights worth thousands of dollars using a fraction of the points, because they're transferring to an airline's own loyalty program instead of paying cash rates. Now, transfer values change depending on the airline and the route, so this isn't guaranteed every time. It takes a bit of research. But even average redemptions typically beat cash back. Let's talk about the built-in perks, because this is where the annual fee basically pays for itself before you even redeem a single point. First, a $50 annual hotel credit, automatically applied when you book through the Chase travel portal, no activation required. Second, trip cancellation and interruption insurance. If your flight gets canceled or cut short for a covered reason, you could be reimbursed up to $10,000. Third, no foreign transaction fees. So if you're traveling abroad, every swipe is at the real exchange rate, no extra 3% tacked on. And fourth, primary rental car insurance in most countries, meaning you can often skip the rental company's expensive add-on coverage entirely. Add those perks up, and conservatively, you're looking at well over $100 of built-in value each year before a single point is redeemed. So who is this card actually for? If you travel even 2 or 3 times a year, this card is built for you. If you rarely travel and mostly want simple cash back, there are better cards for you, and I'll cover those in a future video. Now let's talk about approval odds, because this matters more than people think. Chase has something called the 524 rule. If you've opened 5 or more new credit cards from any bank in the past 24 months, Chase will likely deny your application automatically, regardless of your credit score. So before you apply, count how many new cards you've opened in the last 2 years. If you're under 5, you're likely in good shape to apply. Next, let's talk about the minimum spend requirement to earn that welcome bonus, because this trips a lot of people up too. You typically have 3 months from account opening to hit that spend threshold. Miss it, and you miss the entire bonus, no partial credit. My advice: only apply for this card when you already have a large planned purchase coming up, rent, a big trip, a planned expense, something that naturally gets you to the spend threshold. Never spend more than you normally would just to hit a bonus. That defeats the entire purpose and can hurt you financially. Now, let's run the real numbers. Say you spend $2,000 a month on this card across dining, streaming, and everyday purchases. At those earning rates, that's roughly 3,000 to 4,000 points per month, depending on your category mix, or somewhere around 40,000 points over a year. Redeemed through transfer partners at a strong value. That's a realistic estimate of $500 to $800 or more in travel, on top of your welcome bonus and the built-in perks. Against a $95 annual fee, that's a significant return, and that's before factoring in things like travel protection actually saving you money if something goes wrong. Of course, your actual results depend entirely on your spending habits and how well you use the transfer partners. This isn't a guarantee, it's a framework. Let's quickly cover the downsides too, because no card is perfect. The $95 fee is charged whether you use the card or not. And the real value here requires a bit of learning. Understanding transfer partners and booking strategies takes some upfront research. It's not fully set it and forget it. So here's my honest take. If you're organized, you travel a few times a year, and you already pay your balance off in full, this card is genuinely one of the strongest options in its category. If any of those don't apply to you, especially paying in full every month, skip this card entirely. No amount of points is worth carrying interest. If you want, I can put together a full beginner's guide to points and miles, how transfer partners work, how to book your first reward flight, all of it. Drop a comment below and let me know. And while you're there, tell me which credit card you're currently using. I read every single one. One more thing. Links and more detail on everything I covered today are in the description box, including where to check the card's current, official offer terms. Next week, I'm breaking down a card on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, one with zero annual fee that still earns solid cash back. You won't want to miss it. At the end of the day, the best credit card isn't the one with the flashiest bonus. It's the one that actually matches how you spend and how you travel. Thanks for watching The Point Desk. I'll see you in the next one.